Okay, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so good morning, good morning, good morning. So today we had a little conversation here about some things that were going on in some of the people's lives here about we were speaking about the tendency generally going up for you guys of if you were like, some of you were on a 3, now you're on a 4 and you're on the way to a 5. Some of you were on a 5, now you're on a 6 and on a 7. Some of you were on 7 to 8, now you're on a 9. So I love that the tendency is going up. If I know that one or the other of you is also experiencing some hardship. So if you're on a 2 or 3, I would really recommend that you look again at the recording for Walking with Sadness and Joy at the same time if you're going through some difficult times. And one of the other things that I recommend is, if there's something you're holding on for a longer time, what is a good idea, and I just said that, is to write a forgiveness letter to yourself. And if there's another person involved, to write a forgiveness letter to the other person as well, okay? Or if there are generally a lot of things happening, like you having trouble with your family and there's several members involved, then write a forgiveness letter to the family members that are involved. This is something I did between Christmas and New Year's. Is I had because of the illness of my dad, there were a lot of family topics coming up, and there were a lot of quarrels in the family about certain topics. And so I wrote a forgiveness letter to the family members that I was in a difficult situation with. And since then, the relationship is much, much, much better. So this can really help. Okay, so just a little hint. Also, if you are feeling bad and it's not getting better, please reach out to me. Also in private, if you like. I really feel this very strongly. If I cannot help you, then I'll guide you in the right direction of what to do and where to go, because if it's hanging on for a longer time, then you really need to seek some advice. Okay, this is really important. Like, don't let this, if you feel like the cloud is hanging around you for too long, you need to do something about it. Okay, this is very important. All right, so today's topic is, wait a second. Without my notes, I don't want to say anything wrong, because sometimes I get confused between the days and then I say wrong things. All right, so today we're once again is the final day of the manifesting, and we're going to talk about manifesting shit. Okay, so what happens is that we spoke already about the essence of what we focus on is like where focus goes, energy flows, right? So what we focus on is what we manifest and we bring into our life. And I want to dig a little bit deeper on that, because there are some things that we're doing very consciously, but I want you to be aware today. Today is going to be one of the exercises. I want you to be very aware of where does the majority of your thoughts go. Okay, so let me give you an example. If, for example, you want to manifest abundance, so money, or your business going well, and your main focus is, like, let's say you want to manifest more clients or attract more clients, okay? And your focus, your thoughts in your head go a little bit something like this. Where can I find my clients? Why are there not more clients finding me? Why is this not working out? Why are people not referring me more? I haven't received a message in a couple of days from anybody. Should I, it's like having this thought process that focuses very much around the lack of something. So the lack of clients, and giving it a lot of attention and energy of, I don't have any clients. I don't have enough clients. Why don't I have more clients? How can I get more clients? I need more clients. Like, all of this is very much focusing on the lack of something. And when we focus on the lack of something, the issue is that the universe doesn't differentiate between I want and I don't want, because the no or the don't is not heard by the universe. So if we focus a lot on, I don't want more of this, guess what you're going to get? It's a bit like saying, I don't want to see a yellow elephant, and all you see is yellow elephants, because your brain only understands, here's yellow elephant, and what you're thinking of in your brain is yellow elephant, and the universe works in exactly the same way. So it's like going to Starbucks and saying, I don't want a croissant. Well, guess what might show up on your plate? A croissant, and you will have paid for that, right? Because what's the point of going to the counter and saying, I want a big latte, as I always do, like I want a huge latte with oat milk. And then you say, oh, and by the way, I don't want a croissant. And they hear, okay, croissant, great, yeah, no problem. Because they're so busy with you and all the other people that are lining up behind you, is all they hear is big latte, oat milk, croissant, bam, right? So that's what you're going to get. Those guys at the counter don't have enough time, and the universe, they have enough time to listen, but it's that the order gets taken up the wrong way. So that is why we need to practice to put our energy and to rewire our energy completely. So one big example for me last year, as I was just saying, I had, like, because of the illness of my dad and because of a lot of other things that were going on in the family, we had a lot of drama in the family. And I mentioned this already before, because I also have, you know, as I said, my sister-in-law, she's of Iranian, so Persian descent, and they have a very different culture. And their culture loves a lot of, you know, like they're even when they talk, they're like big and this and that. And when they laugh very loud, and they're very, you know, like, ah, da, da, da. But also that means that when something emotional happens, it's also very big, right? It's very much attention. They talk about it for a long time, and they throw words in people's faces, and the next day they love each other again as if nothing happened, right? But there's never any conversation about it. That's just the way it is. And for me, that was very unusual, but also it caused a lot of tension and there was a lot of energy on this topic. Like, it was me speaking with this person, then that person speaking with that person, and this person speaking with this person. So there was so much energy going into this that at some point I said, okay, enough. Like, I'm not giving this any more energy, so I'm going to stop talking about it. And when family members called me to discuss it, and it went something like this: have you heard, now this and that person said this and that about this and that, and they think we should do this, and they think we should do that, and that, and what do you think? And it's like, no, stop. We're all going to sit together on a table, and we're going to discuss this like adults. And there's going to be no more this person talking that person and talking behind that person and stabbing in that person's back and saying this about the other person. And I don't know what, like, this is enough. Like, we're going to cut off the drama. But before I got to that point, I was like, oh my God, no more drama, please. No more drama, no more drama, no more drama, no more drama, no more drama. And guess what? It kept increasing. I was focusing so much of my energy on how can we solve this problem? And, oh my God, what a problem. And how can we solve this? And how can we have less drama? And how can we have less emotion in this? And how can we? So my energy was around this, that this is exactly the energy that came into the family. And it really, like, it became this explosive energy, right? And so the more I said no more drama, the more drama showed up. And it felt like I was done with one piece of drama, and then the next one was already rolling in. It's like I didn't get a break from all the drama and from trying to lead myself and my family through this whole situation, right? And so the minute that I cut the energy and I was like, okay, I'm giving this no more energy, like I'm not going to give this any more attention. So what I did was, first, I took a couple of days off. I didn't engage with my family on this topic. I said, okay, we discussed the most important topics. The most important things are done. Everything is rolling. Like, let's take a couple of days break from this so that the emotions could calm down a bit. And then I said, okay, we're gonna have a conversation about this as a family, and everybody's gonna sit on the table. So we had an online call, and we were all on the same page. And then I had a conversation with each individual person. I said, I'm no longer going to talk to you about somebody else when they're not sitting here. And I'm no longer going to engage in this. And I'm also not going to give this any more energy. Finished. So that was a conversation I had. And I also had a very much leadership conversation with some of the family members that were very nasty. And I said, and I told them in a very, positive leadership kind of way, as I've learned and practiced over the past month. Like I said, I really had to step up my leadership game last year, and some of the most important lessons came from my family. So this was something where I had a conversation that really was so appreciative and so from the heart, and so still asking for what I wanted and saying, when you do certain things, when you talk bad about me behind my back to other people in the family, it really hurts me. And when you come up with lies and you say things that are not even true just to get your way, that is not okay. And I don't appreciate that. So this is something where that was a huge lesson for me. But the main point I want to bring across is that the moment I focused on the positivity of it, and the moment I focused, I just detached my energy, and I was like, I'm no longer going to give this energy. And I focused more on actually the well-being of my father, as in, I started having more fun conversations with my dad. Like I started calling him and saying, hey, what are you doing? And we laughed about certain things. And we started making fun of the fact that he couldn't do his laundry properly anymore, and how the other day he went out with his belt backwards, and we made it a bit lighter and easier, this whole thing. And I did it impartial to lighten up the mood with my dad, but also to lighten up the mood for myself and this whole situation. So I shifted the energy, and I was like, okay, what can I do in order to give this all more positivity and a more positive spin? And so I actively started doing that. And then I actively went back to the family members and I said, hey, you know what dad did today? He managed to do this. So I made a bit of fun of it, but then I also came in with really positive things. And I said, he did this right today. He did this well today. So I started shifting the conversation from all of the things he was not doing and all of the things he was failing to the conversation of what are all the things he's doing well and doing good, or that where he relearned something again. Like for a time he wasn't able to put on his oven, and then we went through putting on the oven, and then all of a sudden he could put on the oven again, right? So things like that go into like changing the conversation with other people, but also changing the conversation with yourself is so important. Okay, so this is what I really want you to do today, is to be very aware. What are the conversations you're having with people, but also what are the conversations you're having with yourself? Like if there's, and in particular around the intention that you want to create, like, is it a positive conversation or is it a negative conversation? Is there any lack in the way you talk to yourself? Is there any point where you're like, oh, there's an energy of lack in this versus an energy of abundance, right? So lack can be applied to anything. Lack, usually people speak about lack of money, but it can be lack of love, lack of joy, lack of peace, right? In my case, it was a no drama thing. And be like, see if you can shift that conversation in your head into something positive, so that your order in the universe gets delivered in the right way, so you don't end up with a croissant even though you didn't order it, right? So think about, how can I focus more on the latte? How can I focus more on what I do want? And having this conversation in my head with myself of like, oh, this is great, this is going in the right direction, and not, this is not good. Okay. So I just wanted to focus on this today, nothing else. Just like pay attention, like look again at your biggest intention, the one you picked for these couple of weeks, and look at where is the thought process in your head? Like what are your conversations like? Are they positive? Are they negative? Are you saying, please no, da, 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 da to the universe? Are you saying, please, yes, da, 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 da? Is there any kind of lack in it? Is there abundance in it? Like, what does that self-conversation look like? Do you believe that this will happen at some point, right? If you take away the timing and if you take away the urgency of it, let's say. Sometimes we manic manifest, as Gabrielle Bernstein calls it. So we're like reminding the universe multiple times every day, like, hello, where's my order? Hello, where's my order? I want it now. I want it now. I want it now. And it doesn't work in this way, right? It's like, it works that you get it when you're ready, and you get it when it's the divine timing. So letting go a bit of this when things have to happen. We spoke about this before, so I'm not going to repeat that, but just be very aware of what your conversation is like in your head. Okay. All right. So questions.
Okay, I have a question. So I'm seeing with my intention, my big intention, that I have positive things around it and positive thoughts. And then all of a sudden, who are you thinking you're going to be able to make this? And then comes a burst of some negative shit. And then I try to pick myself up, and I do, and then I go positive, and then from time to time, boom, I just go down. Help, coach, what to do?
Okay, so this reaction, like I said yesterday, is very normal, right? Because it depends on how much evidence you have from it in the past, because what your brain is doing is like, oh my God, wouldn't this be amazing? And then the subconscious disbeliever pops up, right? And it's like, yeah, but why should this happen for you? And why should this happen? And puts in all of the why it should not happen or why it cannot happen, because that's the rational thinking that sets in, right? And tries to explain to you what's going on. And the thing is that what you need to do in this instance is to switch that off and to go back to, like, when those thoughts come, is to gently move yourself back to the place you were before of, hey, this is going to be amazing, and this is going to be good, and I can't wait, and I'm excited. And the thing is, you have to have a bit of patience with yourself, because you're expecting, like, it's a bit like we've been driving on a railroad all this time this way, and now all of a sudden we're taking quite a shift, right? So our old brain is still on this one, and it's very hard to like make a shift like that. It's more a bit of a curve like this, right? Like slowly but surely. It's a big train that we're moving. So, and it's the rails cannot be moved within a day, right? It takes some time to shift the rails into another direction. So you have to be gentle with yourself in the process. But what's important is that you notice those thoughts. That's the exercise for today, is to notice those thoughts and be like, aha, okay, so there's the negative things again. There are the things where I'm doubting, right? And see, can you guide yourself back to going into that direction versus going this way, right? Can you guide yourself slowly going back over there instead of going like this? And also, like, be patient with yourself. You know, it takes time. It's not something you can snap out of immediately, but notice the thoughts. That's the most important thing. When you're aware of it, that's step number one. And then guide yourself back slowly. Okay?
Great, thanks.
Welcome. Any other questions?
Yes, I'm going to jump in to try to have a bit more clarity. So this is when we get, so first we have to be mindful. right? All day, not easy. We're in the doing. Sometimes I even catch myself doing something and thinking, of course, about something very different. We're all like this. The brain is very
Normal.
smart. Exactly. And usually, yes, we have the tendency to think about worries, fears, whatsoever, or the future, especially when we're mothers. It's even worse. So this is the thinking. Start by mindfulness to do the shift.
Mhm.
And this can be, I mean, we have to try to do it all day. Try when we catch it. Because as I said, I can be doing a task, and then this thing which has nothing to do with the task I'm doing is going to pop up. Notice and do the shift. And then, so regarding the other things that we've discussed before, the manifestation and all that, is more allocating time in the day for that. So it's all in the mind, right? Manifestation is in the mind and in the body. This thing is in the mind. So and I'm trying to see in one day how to mix all that and have it efficient.
So the thing is that what I want to avoid is having you guys in overwhelm. Okay. So if I'm not telling you to control all of your minds and all of your thought all day, what I want you to do is to just think about the one intention that you have and control the thoughts for that today. Because if you control and your entire mind on all topics and try to cut out all the negativity and just turn it into positivity, it's a huge jump. It's too big, right? But what I want you to do is to focus on your intention, okay, and change notice your thoughts around that. Okay, so that big intention you have, like for in your case with the business, like notice, for example, you are, I don't know, writing an email to a potential client, right? And then you, at the beginning, you're like, oh, let's write that email to a potential client, see where they're at, and then all of a sudden you've got the rational thing coming up of like, oh, you're not going to manage to close them. They're not going to work with you. Why should they work with you? You know, these kind of things. Okay. So this is where you catch yourself going like, okay, here it is. Right. And then you shift that one. So just focus on this intention, on this one intention, and do it for that, not for everything, because it's too big of a jump. That's like wanting, like you just learned swimming and then you want to swim the Olympics. It doesn't work. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, you're welcome. Otherwise, you got to go on bananas today. You're like, I'm controlling my thoughts all day. But once we get the hold of this and we get to practice this, we are so much more aware. Like I'm in a state now where, honest to goodness, like any negative thing that comes up, I'm very aware of it. And I'm for sure, nobody's perfect. I for sure don't catch everything, but I catch a lot. And I'm very much aware of like, this is interesting. Why am I so emotional about this? Or why does this trigger me? Or how can I shift this emotion, right? Like, I'll give you a very quick example. Yesterday, somebody, to cut a story short. So somebody, I'm in a situation that I cannot change because of because of circumstances that they are the way they are. And there's somebody that is abusing the situation, charging me a lot of money or wanting to charge me a lot of money for something that is actually very easy for them, and where they could say, okay, this is actually something that's not very complex. So, and when I received that message yesterday, and she said, oh, we can do this, or we have this option, or we have that, or we have that. And I said to her, yeah, I'm going to feel on this. And she was like, there's nothing to feel about. You have option 1 or option 2. And I said, well, this is the way I deal with things. I always feel on things. And you can tell me, like, let me know the cost for the options, and then I'll let you know. And then she let me know the cost of the option, which was 3 times what I had expected. And then at the beginning, I really got angry, and I was like, how dare she abuse the situation to charge me these kinds of prices, even though the situation I'm in was caused by her. So I had nothing to do with it. And this was something where at the beginning I was like, oh, angry, annoyed, like, how can she do this? And she's risking our friendship and all the things. And then I was like, okay, how is it different? How can I feel differently about this? And then I just said, you know what? Laugh about it. Like, laugh about it and say, nice try. You'll always find another solution. You just need to be a bit more creative. Like, just find another solution and let's see how we get out of this. And so I just sent her back laughing smileys. I said, sorry, but I'm out. This is not the solution for me. And I'll get back to you, and lovely regards. You know, that's it. But I shifted my energy around it, because at the beginning I started this whole thing of like, how dare she, and this is so mean and so unfair, and how can she do this, and I was like, okay, this is not good. Like, how can I shift my energy around this, especially because it's a situation that is a bit harder to solve and where I cannot change anything about it. Okay. Another way to deal with it would have been to just let it go and to just say, okay, I'll pay it, and to just let it go and be like, all right, the money will come back through me in another way. Just say, okay, I'll pay this and it will come back to me through another source, and done. Not give it any more energy. That could be another way to deal with it. But in this case, I didn't want to do that. All right. Okay. So it's really a matter of like being aware of the things and just like picking up on the energy and being like, okay, here it is happening. Here it is again. But at the beginning, just start with the one intention you're working on, because I don't want you guys to go into overwhelm of like controlling every thought all day. It's hard. All right. It's like training muscles, you know, that's what it's like. Good. Okay. All right. So I'll stop the recording. Then I'm quickly going to, Heather, I just want to leave one comment. So I'm just going to stop the recording. 1 second.